Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome to the McKola and Rory podcast. We are back with the 20th episode. And can I thank everyone for getting involved? Because we're on the 20th episode and we've been fairly inconsistent so far, but we have managed to hit well over 200,000 streams. And I think that's something special. So thank you very much to everyone for listening. This is the 20th episode. We're back. Rory, how you doing?
Mate, I'm honoured. I didn't realise that we'd hit such an auspicious number. It feels good. Thank you so much to everyone. It feels like a little bit flat this week, though, doesn't it? The international break. It really does just take the sting out of football, doesn't it? You know, when the Premier League's going, everything's happening. There's so much jeopardy. Who's going to get top four? Who's going to win the league? Who's going to go down? And then all of a sudden, we have to pause and watch England limp to a drab victory over Switzerland in a game that nobody cared about. So annoying.
You say that, but Manchester United are unbeaten in a week, so I'm feeling quite good about things.
There we go. Yeah, there we go.
Something else that we want to talk about this week is Erik Ten Hag, who was interviewed for the Manchester United job. There's been talks that we've also interviewed a few others as well. He's seemingly leading at the moment. Rory, if Manchester United made the appointment of Erik Ten Hag, how would you feel as one of those teams that's just ahead of us?
Yes,
I say just. There's a few teams in between us, but you know what I mean.
No, absolutely. I think, Chelsea and Manchester United are rivals. Chelsea and Manchester United will compete every season. And it is a worry to me that this Ten Hag appointment seems to be gathering momentum because I don't want you to go for Ten Hag. Like who I want you to go for is, the left field choices that seem to be being mentioned, which I'm really in favour of. Brendan Rodgers, his name comes up. I saw an amazing one last week. Adam. Ralph Hasenhüttl, which I'm totally endorse. If anybody cares about my opinion, who's on the Manchester United board, Hasenhüttl or Brendan Rodgers, you guys, then it's a different level, obviously, and we're talking Pochettino and Ten Hag. Out of the two, I really would prefer you to go for Pochettino because I just think that Pochettino seems to get a press that he doesn't massively deserve. People look at his time at Tottenham as being incredibly impressive, and while I appreciate the good things, he ultimately ended with nothing in the trophy cabinet, which is what it's about. That is the point. That is what he was trying to achieve. He also, at one point, had the best team in the country. Over the course of 2 calendar years, they had more points than anyone. So the fact that they were bottling it when it most mattered, they were dropping points when it most mattered, I think is a problem. And what happened most recently at Paris Saint-Germain in Europe, I think that is such a red flag with regard to Pochettino because although it's happened before, we've seen it happen before with Paris Saint-Germain. We've seen it happen when they collapsed in the most extraordinary circumstances possible against Barcelona. We saw them do it to Manchester United as well. But what happened most recently was just unforgivable. And that was on Pochettino's watch. And that was the worst one of the lot because the other two had happened already. So you've got to be scarred by those. They bought in players to make sure that didn't happen again. They bought in Champions League proven players. They bought in Pochettino and it happened again, which makes it the worst of all. So that then brings us on to Ten Hag. I think the way that team are playing, brilliant. I think the way that this Ajax team knocking the ball about is sensational, actually. I also think the way that he's elevated players who we've thought in the past weren't particularly great. Sebastian Haller at West Ham looked lost.
Top scorer in the Champions League.
That's amazing.
Crazy like that.
And let's also be real. The year that Tottenham got to the Champions League final and people celebrate Pochettino for that, the 2019 team. They were so lucky against Ajax. That was like, I know I'm not doing myself any favours here because I'm tying myself up in knots because I'm saying that they were unlucky and they deserve to go through whatever. Pochettino ultimately won. And I said that winning is what it's all about. But Lucas Moura scoring a hat-trick at the last kick of the gate. Like, come on, that doesn't happen. Ajax was so much better over the 2 legs. Ajax was so deserving of going through and getting to that final.
They were great against Real Madrid as well.
They were brilliant against Real. And didn't they knock Juve out as well that year?
Yes.
Yeah, they knocked Juve out. Like, they were the team that year. And look, it went wrong for them and maybe the naivety showed and the inexperience showed. But I rate Ten Hag. I think Ten Hag is the best of... I think that you've missed some of the best options that could have gone your way. The one I don't want you to get is Zinedine Zidane. That's the one I'm desperate for you to avoid. But his name doesn't seem to be involved anymore. So the best of the rest is Ten Hag. Do you agree with that?
It feels like, under Zidane, it feels like he might be being lined up for PSG at the moment, or is it kind of or France potentially? But I'm starting to agree. Look, I'm a big fan of Poch. I don't agree with you on what you said about Poch in terms of, look, I think he should have done better with that Spurs team and won a trophy. And I felt his constant derision of like the League Cup and FA Cup was a bit weird because like they're massive to Spurs. You know what I mean? They're big to anyone, but they're massive to Spurs, and winning a trophy like that kind of silences everyone else. But I kind of understood it at the time when he was competing with the big boys and he kind of had to focus on things. Look, I think PSG is a bit of a weird basket case of a club. If you look at Tommy Tickles, he was there. This kind of same thing happened. He leaves. And I know they've got Messi and all that now, but like Messi don't do any, like Poch relies on everyone being bought into his into the plans. And I feel the power dynamic at Paris Saint-Germain isn't going to favour any manager like that needs everybody to be well drilled into what he's doing. So I don't look at him badly because of PSG. Nevertheless, I say that to say this. I do feel Ten Hag at the moment has the momentum and he's not scarred by maybe failure. You know, where Poch would come in and it'd be, oh, well, you never did it at PSG. You've never. I know he's going to win League One this season, but people will probably still say he hasn't won a real trophy and all these kind of things. Whereas Ten Hag's coming in, I know he's just been knocked out of the Champions League, but he did fantastic to get to the last 16. He's coming in with this swagger. He's coming in with this winning mentality. They're on for 3 league titles in 4 seasons. And when you look at what he's done with some of the players that he's had at his disposal, like, you know, De Ligt, how he developed him, Donny van der Beek, even like what you said with Sebastian Haller, some of the players there now, they were selling players and he was still improving them and getting them better. So, yeah, I like Ten Hag. And I think
you can't miss
weird?
out on him again. You can't.
I feel like if we don't get him, he's City's next manager or
Bayern.
He's
He was
like
at Bayern a bit
Munich.
already. Yeah, Bayern.
Like,
And that's the
like
problem, though. Manchester United need to be very scared of that because whether you think Conte was the right person or whether I think he was the right person or not, he could have done a job and Manchester United chose to not get him. I think there have been various managers that Manchester United could have appointed over the years. Maybe even Thomas Tuchel, in fact. When Thomas Tuchel left Paris Saint-Germain, maybe Manchester United should have acted then. So I think there are various examples of managers where Manchester United have slept rather than acted and have missed out. And if that happens with Ten Hag, because Manchester United will not be the only club tapping up Ten Hag. I'm sure Bayern Munich are looking at him. Like you said, I can see what you mean about Man City. I can see why there would be a link. Because Manchester United...
There's a link with him and Pep as well.
There's a link with him and Pep, but exactly. But Manchester United need their next manager to imbue the club with a playing style that is like Manchester United used to have. I don't think you're going to get that with Pochettino the way that you would get that with Ten Hag. Ten Hag's playing identity is there, isn't it? So I think he is the right man for you. Just don't
when you
sleep
look at
because
our
you'll
younger
go buy
players
him.
as well. I think he'll attract players. I think, but also when you look at, you know, you might not know some of these names, so you might do actually because some of them have played at international level. But like Hannibal Mejbri, for example, Charlie McNeil,
he's got a very memorable name. As soon as you hear that name once, you remember that one. Yeah,
like they're very brave, isn't it? Like because of the films and stuff, I can't imagine anyone calling their kid Hannibal, and then like they must not have seen it or something. Like I don't know. Or it's probably like a really powerful name where you're like, where's he from? Tunisia, I think.
Maybe they've never seen it. Like I like that. I like what you said. Maybe they've just never seen the film.
Oh man. But yeah.
What about the other suggestions, Adam? What about? I mean, there's talk of Lopetegui and there's talk of Luis Enrique. Any of those interesting to you?
I know less about this. You know, I've seen obviously a lot of Enrique's teams and Lopetegui when they're at Barcelona, but I know a lot less about them. And they feel less sexy. Do you know what I mean? They do feel that less sexy. I think Luis Enrique would possibly do well, but nah, not for me. You know, not for me. I want one of these young upcoming managers. I still consider Poch that, but Ten Hag is definitely that. And if you get it right with Ten Hag, there's no reason for him to leave for the next 5 years or something. You know what I mean? You can build something. So that would excite me, and maybe you can attract like De Ligt or someone, which should be good. Be good. We've been linked with Harry Kane weirdly today, which made me think, are we getting Poch?